AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Oh, yeah. I think they're on. We can't really hear the mics, but I think they're on. Here we are, AfterBuzz TV, doing our after show for How to Get Away with Murder. It is episode 4, Skanks Get Shanked.
True story.
You know they do.
It is a true story. I feel like, you know, at the end of the day, you can't be a skank is what we're trying to say. Right? Fair enough?
Yeah, that is the underlining subtext for the whole episode.
Topic for the, yes.
Yeah. So what do you guys think? Episode 4 here. I feel like we all share the same opinion of maybe a little bit lost after this episode, wanting some clarity. There's not as much of a, oh my God. Well, there was a little bit at the end, but I feel like we're all, I don't know, let's introduce ourselves first. I'm Stef Z. You guys can tweet me at IAMSTEFZ. I have the lovely panel here tonight. Sorry, I get so into this. I totally forget.
Every week, Steph is like, they know who we are. We don't introduce ourselves. Well, that's Steph, obviously. I'm Jillian. You can tweet me at Jillian Leff.
I'm JB. You can tweet me at JB_Zimmerman.
What's up, guys? It's Stacy Ike. You can tweet me at OneTakeStace during the show.
All right, sweet. Now that we've got that out of the way, so what are you guys' overall impressions about this show?
The show or this episode?
Tonight's episode, the show we watched tonight.
I mean, it was definitely the calm before the storm. They definitely set up the, you know, coming up on as like a huge episode, which is, I thought, necessary just because this was so much slower than the 3 that we've seen.
Right.
But it was a change of pace. I don't know, like, you know, I'm kind of hungry to get back into like the, oh my God phase, but... they can't all be like that.
I feel like they were trying to give me, oh my gosh, and I just wasn't buying it. You know what I mean? Because usually that's what I think. I think there were a lot of crazy moments, especially with the double cases and kind of like all the stares and the lookaways and what's his name? Is it Colin? No. What's my favorite character?
Connor.
Oops, Connor, I apologize. And Connor, you know, going off every 5 seconds. Like, there was supposed to be a lot of oh my gosh moments, but a few times I was like, I don't understand. You know, that's kind of how I felt. So, yeah. That's just me.
What about you, Jillian? What do you think overall?
Well, I thankfully was not the only one confused last week because many of you confirmed. So thank you for tweeting me. Thank you for reaching out to me on YouTube. I wasn't going crazy. You know, I really was a little bit torn and confused about last week. This week got me back on track. I, again, agree that it's sort of an expository episode to sort of line us up for something explosive that's going to happen next week. So I get that. That's great. I liked the case this week.
Me too.
It was very dramatic. But yeah, I'm excited to see what's going to happen.
I hated that girl. Hate is a very strong word, but she was
let's
my
get right into that.
Let's talk about the case.
Let's get right into that. So we've got this case, and apparently, which this happens a lot nowadays, we've got bullying in college, in high school. We've got all this stuff. We've got people doing things they don't want to do just to feel included. So we have this case where there was, you know, three or four students together.
Well, there was 4.
There was 4, yeah. And, you know, apparently, we don't know the exact story. I mean, I don't know. You know, Zoe stabs this girl 52 times. I mean, that's pretty...
Your hair should get tired. Issue. Like, what are you talking... 52 times, you guys?
Like, it's not that easy to stab someone. Not that I've stabbed someone before, but like,
I'm saying, like...
She was like...
Didn't want to switch seats?
But she was like a tiny girl. I don't know. When they said 52 times, I was sort of just like...
It was a little bit overkill.
But she also like had the rage. Like she went 0 to psycho in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, that's right. But we didn't see that till after. Like I was almost believing her, like you do though, because in the beginning,
she was like a weird wonky
eye
thing going on. I was like, oh, you.
She had an eye twitch. I was like, I don't believe. I don't.
I mean, great casting, but still, I was like, oh god.
Yeah, but anyway, I feel like we do. We see this where sometimes people get bullied into or hazed into doing things, and then you don't think that maybe those other girls didn't. I mean, who knows how they got together in the beginning, but maybe no one thought this was what was going to happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, no one thought that we were going to see this girl 52 times stab. And then I feel like, you know, we didn't. I of believed her in the beginning, and I don't know what. Like, I believe that she wasn't up to it all by herself.
Right.
But I didn't. And then once we see that video released on her cell phone, which good props to Laurel for stealing the phone.
So
Right.
well, they set it up when they had her texting, and like, you know, Connor was trying to talk to her, and she was like, "You don't know what you're talking about." I went back to her texting, so I do get that, but I just think it's very interesting, like the way they dressed her in the beginning, because obviously that was pertinent to you believing her. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like all her demeanor. That's why I was like, okay, maybe she's not psycho, but you're right. That twitch.
Yeah, but also
I
the
think,
parents. The parents were like,
True.
she's not guilty, and
That's
then of
so
course
stupid.
blaming Annalise because her mind is a million other places.
Right.
I don't know. I enjoyed this more than the case last week.
I agree to that. I agree.
I-
I mean, there was
I
definitely
do. I
cut you
more
off, yeah.
going on, I think, and, you know, we had a lot of specific actions from each character. Obviously, Connor had a very, like
Yeah, can we talk
weird,
about Connor?
I love Connor.
Yeah, but
He was
the Annalise
tripping.
betrayal this episode?
Yeah,
That's pretty
Yeah,
extreme.
but
Like,
that
you know,
was
this
really
is your job.
extreme.
You
What
can't
the
just
hell?
sabotage.
Yeah, but I think the bigger picture of what's happening to Connor. I mean, last week we saw him. He's making good decisions for the first time with his relationship with Oliver. Like, something internally is happening with Connor, and I feel like that was the reason to show us, like, what is he gonna eventually tell
Right.
about? Is he gonna eventually tell because he thinks now, even more so now that Annalise will pin it on him?
No.
Like, he's getting soft in a way.
He's getting soft. I don't blame him for acting or like for feeling that way.
Yeah.
It's just as a lawyer, you can't. You have to put your like emotions
Right, but they're
by the
still
wayside.
students, so maybe this
Right,
is
but
where you
I mean,
figure
well,
out
that's what I'm
whether
saying.
he's
Like
gonna be a
maybe
good one.
he's not gonna be a good lawyer.
Well, I don't think he's
knows?
Or
gonna
like homicide at least.
I don't
is
think
not
he's
his
going to
thing.
end up telling, because we see that in the flash forwards or whatever, he does something again. So I don't think there's any
Right.
running to tell. But I do understand what you're saying about them being students, and he's in his learning process. Maybe he's figuring out he can't handle this, whatever. But I think that was ultimate betrayal. Even though I understand, nobody's being honest with Annalise. Like she's kind of scaring me, because like I don't feel like they can talk to her as much as I used to. But they still have to try. Like he could have been like, listen, she's this, she's that. Like, can we have a real conversation? Like,
Right.
putting her. Why did you do that? I thought I was like, I don't.
I also don't
Yeah,
think
it's
that they
pretty
know what Annalise is fully capable of, because as we see, you know, Connor sort of lashed out, you know, gave away the footage to the
Right.
opposing team, if you will, and then Annalise at the end of the episode scares him with the missing car that he thought that Frank got rid of, when
Right.
actually seems like Annalise knows where it is, and she's holding it above his head.
Yeah.
That there's the blood in the car.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That she
Yeah.
wants. Yeah,
I
that's
understood what
what
she
I
was saying, but I thought she was saying that she had to get rid of it, and that you better be happy. Like, I helped you.
I'm
More
saying,
than you
I
think.
think that
a
she
little
knows
bit
where
of
it
both.
is.
I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see both of that plays, but she's the one bringing it back. I mean, who knows? The car could really be destroyed, but she's the one bringing it back,
Like,
to
let's-
hang it
just
over
so
his
you
head.
know.
So you better stay in line,
But
because
I
even though
just
you
wish it wasn't like that. Like, I wish she had a relationship, you know, because I feel like first season we were seeing a lot more of a motherly thing with all of them. Now it's like, I'm the baddest bee and y'all better bow down. Now that's cool if you're Beyonce. Actually, it's not even cool then. It's really not. You need to have friends. That's all I'm saying.
they are sort of separating, like they are mounting attacks against each other. You know, it seemed throughout the episode that it was setting itself up for everybody versus Annalise. I mean, even when she comes out of the hospital and sees Nate and Wes.
But also, everyone is sort of teamed up. Like, okay, so Wes and Nate are together now. Laurel and Frank are together. Then we have Bonnie and Asher. Then we have Mikayla and
Connor.
Caleb.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and Connor is like the lone wolf.
Well, but if you
Oh,
think
you mean
about it
it's her
too, at the end of the
relationship.
day,
Yeah.
I mean, we do see that someone tries to kill Annalise. So maybe this is the build for there to be a separation, because it's one of them that's going to try and kill. Who knows?
They
Who knows?
suck if they do that. What the heck?
Yeah, let's go back to the
Well, yeah,
case.
no, I'm Team Annalise. If it's Annalise versus
Yeah, forget
all
y'all.
of
Y'all don't even
everybody
finish law
else in the
school.
show, then
Not trust
Yeah.
me, y'all.
So let's go back to the case real quick. We've got, so the Zoe case, we all agree she's kind of crazy. We see her crazy. The video's crazy. Connor, you know, goes against Annalise, and okay, sorry, we had a note from our engineer. Sorry, guys. But we so I mean, that was pretty much, again, we see Annalise once again wins a case that should kind of be lost until Connor betrays her. Like, she was gonna win that case. She
is
figured out a way
crazy.
to get her off, knowing that she was batshit crazy.
I know.
She figured out a way. But
do you think it was necessary for her to show her parents that footage the way she did, and then like when they say destroy it, you're like, oh, I guess because they're the client.
Yeah,
then
they're
it's
paying
fine.
her. I mean,
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to see that scene as a little less like pissed off, but I couldn't.
It's,
I was
it's
I hate the
obviously
parents.
screwy. Like I see it on Connor's side of things. You know, how can you sort of let this known killer roam free, because he's again like turning. He's soft. He's getting soft.
Well, yeah, it's interesting that
soft,
even after Connor sabotages everything with the case, Annalise still wins after that. It's only because her client just went,
crazy,
like completely off the
that
off
was
the rails.
very good acting.
Yeah, that
Zoe.
was.
Whoever
that
you
was.
are, Zoe, I don't have her name.
She was
handy,
like, "You're
but
next."
She is. I was scared.
Yeah.
She said that.
I
I
was
said,
scared.
"Oh my damn girl!"
I was like, all right, go, whatever
Do
you
not
want.
cross Zoe.
I was
Holy.
like, no.
But you know what's crazy too, if you think about it, and then we'll move on. It's like, say one day you guys talked Stacy Ike into killing me. Crazy. But if you saw her stabbing me 52 times, like after 30, wouldn't you be like, dude,
all right,
we're
good.
enough.
She did.
Like 52 times.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
That's a
saying.
little
Like
bit of overkill.
she's. It
Dum
just.
For
Yeah.
You're a skank, so you get shanked.
Oh,
Just kidding. I love her.
all right, cool. Anything else about that case before we move on to the next thing? Anything else that stood out?
I was just
Like-
nice. I liked it.
You know what
Yeah,
else
good
actually
case.
stood out to me that I don't think we've seen before? Maybe we have. Correct me if I'm wrong. We saw Annalise get distracted.
Oh yeah.
Never seen that before. She gets distracted
She was
because
so distracted.
Yeah, and we'll segue that into when Nate's wife calls Annalise. Annalise goes to the hospital. So we were all kind of right in the sense that we knew, or we thought that Nate's wife knew about Annalise and was okay with it to a certain extent because she knew that her husband was miserable and sad. And it's like, man, you think about that? What strength in that woman. I don't know if I could do that. Like, if you guys were in that situation, either side, if you're with somebody that's dying, how could you sleep with somebody else? And if you're the person dying, how could you be like, yo, you go sleep with someone else. I can't do this for you, so you go get it anyway.
No, I'm currently dying. I'm gonna need you to be by my bedside
Yeah.
until I go bye-bye. Are you crazy?
Be like, oh, okay, like, I'm
No.
just gonna say, I'm just gonna die a little today. You just go have sex with someone else.
No.
What?
Like, you get to get off and I don't get to get off? You can stay right here with this nice cereal or whatever they feeding at the hospital. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
You're sitting there with this little
No,
smirk on
I'm
your
just
face.
saying, like, I would want a doting husband. I don't want someone that's like going out,
Yeah, that's
and then the
crazy.
mistress comes to visit. And actually, it was crazy that Annalise was like, I was actually scared to come here.
I love that
Which
line.
I love that
I
because
love
we
that
never
line.
hear that from her, that she has
Yes.
any sort of fear ever, and it's always behind closed doors.
Right.
And now finally we're seeing her say that in front of someone that she actually fears.
Yep, I love that line.
So I really liked that. And though Nia, she was great. Like I just loved her acting.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It was really sad, like at the end, and I know we're kind of in that bubble, but it's interesting how people see Annalise and seeing how Nia sees Annalise. I was like, wow, like everyone thinks you're cray. Like I would have thought you would have killed me. It's like, really? Like you think
Well,
I
she
just
also thinks
she had
that
some pretty
she
bad
killed
press.
Sam.
Sam,
Right.
yeah.
And that's exactly.
Well, yeah, and I feel like there's lots of number one, there's lots of reasons why we could think Annalise is crazy, and there's lots of reasons why they would think, even though, you know what I mean, it's almost like there's three sides to every story. It's what you think, what I think, and what really happened. And I feel like we're seeing a little bit of all of that, because I mean, I think Annalise is crazy but smart, but crazy.
No, I agree. I mean,
And
I think,
awesome and crazy.
Yeah.
well, she is all those things. But I think that she, by not killing her, she really showed that there is a difference between Annalise at work and Annalise as a
In
person.
life, I love
Because
that.
that was a
it
personal
that-
problem.
Yeah.
And she
What-
wasn't.
Go ahead, sorry.
Well, no, she didn't go all the way. I mean, she absolutely had the power to take everything into control and to get that off of her, check that off her list.
But I ask you, what do you guys think was the reason why she stopped? Because she went through and got the pills from Frank.
Exactly.
She went through. She was like, I thought she was gonna do it. We all like, why would you go get the pills? What
there
made
wasn't
her?
really a reason. I feel like that she
I
felt it
think
wasn't
there was
really
a reason. I think there was a
Well,
reason.
no,
when she
I mean,
when she ran
there
into
wasn't
Nate.
a reason to kill her. Is what I
Oh
meant.
no, well obviously, but like I think that what changed her mind is when she ran into Nate and they had sort of that exchange when they weren't supposed to meet up in the courthouse together, and then when she got into the room with Nia and she said, I think about killing myself all the time. I'm an awful person,
And
but
you're
you're a
not.
better person than
Yeah.
I am, and I haven't killed myself yet, so you don't deserve to die.
Which comes full circle because
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys picked this up. or maybe I'm just looking too much into it, whichever way works. But when Annalise was in the bathtub and heard the phone, it was almost like she was having a moment of trying to kill herself.
Duh. Yes.
No one else saw that?
When she I wouldn't say kill herself, but
she was like,
but that was one of those
that's what some people do. Like, she was literally in the bathtub under the water.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like it wasn't her problem to fix. Like, it's not her place to, like, go into a marriage and kill someone's wife.
Gosh,
like, you know.
crazy.
No, but in the same sense,
I understand what you're saying, though,
yeah.
Steph, because the line of her saying, you know, I think about killing myself is very parallel to how we opened the episode. So I completely understand. I don't think it was an intentional. I don't think we're supposed to see her die in any episode like that. But I understand she was kind of having that moment. It's like, I thought about it. I currently thought about it 50 minutes ago. You know what I mean?
Right. Like, I was thinking about it when you called me. Like, we're one in the same.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Love that.
And I also think that I just lost my train of thought. But yeah, I do think that you're right. Oh, I thought she was actually going to tell Nate. I thought she was going to tell Nate.
When they met.
This is what she asked me to do.
That would have been the worst idea ever.
Totally would have been
Well, no, I thought that she handed him the pills.
Yeah, but I thought that even though we know it would have been bad, I really thought that that's what was going to happen.
I don't think that would have been bad. I feel like, you know, that would be a good move on her part.
No.
Like, you know, this is how your wife is feeling. Like, this is a decision for you guys to make. Like, a married couple. No?
Nate doesn't trust her at all.
I'm kind of with you.
I feel like if she is really in pain, she wants Nate to be happy. Like, why can't they be honest about it?
No,
they're married right now. Like, they're both miserable. Why can't they both be happy?
But they're not being honest. That's what you're saying. They're not being honest with each other.
They should start being honest with each other.
Right,
And
but that's
why...
not Annalise's place. How dare her go up to Nate and say, like, by the way, your wife called me a killer. I'm not going to do it, but I just want you.
But, like,
it's like,
here's the pills.
No.
You guys
I'm not saying that
Absolutely
would
not.
be like her place to like betray his wife's trust, but I feel like that conversation should be had between them. Like,
because
if she
that
really
can
wants
build
to die,
a trust, and that can show Nate. If Nate's feeling guilty, like, he could see that his wife is not wanting that for him and wants him to be happy. As crazy as that might be, and as strong and as collected as the wife might be.
Okay, but, like, what's the difference than her and Nate discussing death and Nate giving her the pill than Nate just putting a pillow over her face and smothering her to death? Like, what's the difference? There's no difference.
No, there's no difference, but she wants to die. It's like... She wants to be euthanized.
If I wanted to die,
but, like,
if I was that way, and my JB and I are married, and he's sleeping with you, and I know that, and you guys are happy, and I'm as strong as her, and I wanted to die, I would actually tell him, please kill me.
No, exactly. I mean, that's one of the main things.
But you
when
would tell
do get
him.
married.
You would tell him, not her.
You wouldn't get me involved.
I don't know that I would tell her, no.
And that's what I'm saying.
Weird.
Nate and Annalise cannot be having a conversation about your wife's death. Absolutely not. That is inappropriate.
But
if
Nate
JB
and his
didn't
wife
listen,
should
I might
talk
go to
about
her.
it.
Because
no,
I
go
might
to your
think
damn
that
doctor. Like, hey, let's pull the freaking plug. I'm good. Like, I mean,
like, let's stop treatment, because she talks about how she's being pumped through with all these drugs, and I'm given all these miracle drugs, and I'm alive, and they can keep me alive forever, however long I want to be alive for. I just don't want to be anymore. So is it the point where we're going to see next episode where she's like, okay, I don't want to do the drugs anymore? Because really, she could be off the drugs and they could take her home, and that's how she could die.
Right. And Nate can't have a say in that because she's alive to say no or yes.
Exactly.
So, I mean...
That's interesting. Yeah,
I was just making the point of, like, the pills. So if, like, I were to give JB the pills to kill you...
Well, yeah, I don't think there should be any, like, cloak and dagger with her death. I mean,
so I'm saying, like, no middleman.
Right.
Like, if you're going to do this, it needs to be between husband and wife, whatever. But, like, to get Annalise involved, that's not okay.
Very messy.
Yeah.
Very messy.
The only thing, yes, to get Annalise involved is very messy. But if Annalise says, listen, she wanted to get me involved... I feel like
she should tell Nate.
I do.
Maybe if it was like a note that says, like, go see your wife and, like, ask her what the conversation was.
Okay.
Then that might be appropriate. I mean, maybe not saying everything, but she was trusted with something so huge. Like, why take that secret to the grave? Like, why let people that she cares about, Nate in particular, go, like, play this charade?
Okay, this is another point. Why doesn't she have any other friends? Because, like, Annalise is not your friend. Not that you should call a friend and tell them, like, kill me, but I don't know. I guess because Nia is like such an inserted, like we finally see her, putting a face to a name or a name to a face. So I just was hoping maybe she had more of a support system besides Nate and even.
Well, she did call on Nate's cell phone, so maybe Annalise was number 1 on the favorites list. Who knows?
Oh God, T-Mobile.
Well, yeah, also
so T-Mobile.
That's a lot to put on someone. So you wouldn't want to
call your actual friend.
Yeah, and say like, hey, kill me, live with that for the rest of your life, like.
I hate the way you just said that.
But it's cool for the mistress to just live with
right.
that.
Well, no, I mean, God. Someone that is close to you, like she had more than just that to tell Annalise.
Right.
She wanted to say, I hope you love Nate because he will need that.
Yeah.
Like,
Plus, she thinks the mistress is already a killer, so she's like, "Listen, just add this to your book. We'll decorate it. It's fine.
Yeah, it's nothing for you.
Yeah, it's nothing for you. I think that's what it was.
I'm just glad that Annalise got in. She's like, obviously, you don't know the woman that I am, and I was like.
Good,
you're right.
Good, because you have sides, honey. You can change.
She's got layers like an onion.
She has layers like no man's business.
I feel like that might be your quote of the night.
What
Annalise says.
Oh, maybe. Oh, the quote of the night. Oh, so you missed it last week. So, Steph, we're gonna do this thing where we do the quote of the night from our favorites. What Steph said last week. Steph, you skank.
Oh! Someone's getting shanked after the show.
I will not be shanking. My pen is at ballpoint. I'm sorry.
Shots fired.
Okay, so anyway, guys, let's get to the next skank in this episode.
Why don't you take it?
So can we talk about maybe Caleb and Catherine?
Yeah, let's talk about it. So Annalise sends Mikayla to speak with them, which I thought was a weird send at first. Until she says she pretty much wanted her to use her boobs. But still, even so, Mikayla sent to do something flirt-related or skank-related.
Well, I mean, she went to the sex club not too long ago.
Oh, yeah.
But that was
true.
Yeah.
I mean, she
was a little sexy there.
She finally had an orgasm. Let's be honest, she needed that.
Floodgates are open.
Come on.
No pun intended.
Right, oh my God.
You missed last week with the octopus.
Okay, we are moving on. I'm sorry I was in Texas. Okay. I'm glad I should have stayed. I see.
But I feel like we do. We first see Mikayla questioning Caleb. And do we believe Caleb right away? I mean, later in the episode, we learn the resolve of this. But what did you guys think of, Mikayla and Caleb talking? Do you think there's flirting going on, or did you think...
No, that's not flirting. That looked gross.
I think that Mikayla was trying to relate to him, which I think that she did. But obviously he has his guard up because he doesn't even really respect Annalise, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Like, he's shown no loyalty to anybody on the team so far. He doesn't even want to deal with this. Like, he's off in a corner looking ominously in the window. So, like, I was glad that they were able to sort of relate on something. And Annalise said, Mikayla, you're smart. That's why I want you to do this. And look, she didn't even have to use sex. And she got her answers.
Yeah. Right, but is she totally adopted and all that stuff? You think she made that story up?
No, I think that'd be stupid to make up with these kind of clients. Like, they'll find out in next week. I mean,
we've seen Mikayla's mom.
No, we saw Aiden's mom.
Aiden's mom.
Yeah.
Okay.
But she's from like down south,
right?
And she didn't grow up with a lot of money.
Right.
Like, remember, she got really she put on the accent
for the mom.
Yeah,
right. Okay.
Yeah.
So she, I think with the type of person she was going to marry, it's very possible she was adopted because she was kind of marrying up or whatever. So.
Right.
Okay. So we believe. So she gets the answer, but what is the answer that we feel Mikayla gets from Caleb that makes sense?
Nothing from Caleb.
Yeah,
all from Catherine.
That's what's so weird. It's like, if Catherine was a virgin this whole time, like, why didn't you say that day one when like this tabloid came out?
Because that's
a little weird.
Yeah, that's like...
I was honestly surprised.
That's a little...
That's a pretty big deal.
You thought
that's
they were
like
sleeping together.
I thought that something was going on. Yeah,
I was really
whole time.
hoping something was going on. It was a cooler story. Like, in terms of just like really gross.
Obviously, it's a show, but that's a pretty huge alibi that
but
just
also,
clears you of all
of that. I mean, what if Catherine used sex to have the doctor like say that she wasn't a virgin? Is that crazy?
Whoa,
That is crazy.
Is it?
You can't go to a doctor and say, "Hey man, if I sleep with you,
it would not.
Will you
it would
say
make
I'm a
this
virgin?
show is so insane. I would not put it past him. It's because I'm just saying. I just feel like Caleb and Catherine.
Skank now?
Damn, it came on this side. I feel like Catherine and Caleb, they're so shifty. Every episode, I decide something different about them. One episode, I'm into it. Next episode, I'm like, you're liars, and I love that. But I'm also I'm keeping on my toes around them, so I don't put anything past them.
Well, there's got to be another layer to them. There's got to be a reason why they are still consistent through.
Right.
You know, whether or not...
That's what I'm saying. It was kind of convenient and easy that she's like, oh, well, guess what? Like, you cracked me, Mikayla. Like,
right. Yeah.
I'm a virgin.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I feel like there is maybe, Stacy, more stuff behind the scenes.
But then it's like, okay, so if Catherine and Caleb didn't do it, then who the hell killed the parents and why did they do it?
And why... Are we? Yeah,
I mean,
I
maybe
agree
the
with
housekeeper
that question.
That housekeeper.
That was an amazing prediction. I'm sorry, I just freaked out. Oh my god, I just freaked out because I just had her like, they're guilty in my head. Yeah. Oh, she totally did it, you guys.
Yeah. Well,
I have so many things to say. Now.
Yeah,
oh my
yeah.
God.
All right, so
oh my gosh.
You know, we've touched on Laura a little bit, Mikayla a little bit. We've touched on Connor a little bit. Let's talk about Asher and what's going on in Asher's world.
Asher, we still don't really know. I mean, there's a settlement,
okay,
obviously.
Well, we do know because so Asher, obviously, in order to shut Sinclair up, he got with his dad and they made a deal with her to throw Annalise under the bus, that Annalise killed Nate and Bonnie and Frank know about it. And apparently whatever this deal was that was signed to sort of get Annalise's thing in motion.
So that whatever his thing is under wraps.
Exactly. So the DA would keep quiet because Sinclair really hates Annalise. We know that from the beginning. We know that from the end because she's dead at the bottom of the stairs. So, I mean, it really threw a wrench in things when Bonnie said that she killed Sam. I was a little shocked. I didn't think Bonnie was going to do that.
I'm kind of falling in love with Bonnie.
She has balls. I dig her.
I love Bonnie.
It was time though. I think you've been watching our after shows, girl. I appreciate you. I appreciate you because we told her 2 episodes ago, get it together, and she was like, all right, y'all, I'm sorry.
No, she's definitely coming around, and I'm happy for her because she's playing her cards well. I've got a crazy theory about Asher, and I'm not going to even wait till predictions. I'm going to talk about it now. I think. So we open up this episode with Annalise being carried out by the ambulance, stepping over Sinclair. So Sinclair is dead, clearly. Who sends somebody to kill Sinclair? Asher's dad, maybe? I don't know.
Whoa.
He would have to care a lot more. I feel like he doesn't care that much.
So the way that she was on the floor looks like she was pushed down the stairs because she's at the bottom of stairs. So I think that it was a push situation because the way that her face was on the ground and the way that the blood was pulled and her body's kind of like, it looks like all cockeyed. But I'm just saying, like, I think that it was a push situation.
Versus like a quick
Not Connor, Asher?
Well, I mean, Asher wasn't there. So I don't know where he is, but
Asher is never there.
But who knows? It could have been Caleb. Like he had blood all over his sweater at the end of the episode.
Well, it's his house though, so he could have been like helping or carrying the body.
I just feel like there's some reason why Asher and his dad are being involved again, and we know that Asher's dad always didn't like Annalise.
Right.
So now there's Asher's dad who's having to almost be not vulnerable, that's the wrong word, but he's gonna have to almost step down and accept Sinclair's decision or her requirements or whatever to help the son. But now there's 2 lawyers that are taking advantage and making his son's life bad, which can make him bad. I don't know.
Right. And it really showed this episode, we really saw like how deep this was for Asher. I mean,
had to be.
Obviously he called his dad, so that's a huge step. But the fact that, he hugged him at the end, like he stuck out his hand to shake, and Asher like went in for the full hug, like that. So knowing how tumultuous their relationship was.
I agree with that because I definitely been trying to figure out what the heck Asher's hiding. But so in terms of what Jillian said about it putting a wrench with Bonnie's "I killed Sam" thing, that is supposed to make Asher feel bad for making the deal. Is that the point?
I think it's supposed to make Asher go to his dad like, "Hey, wait, I was actually wrong."
No, I think Bonnie's smarter than him and seeing if that information will travel along to see, and then she knows that Asher's a rat.
Well, she knows because she heard.
But she already knows he's a rat.
She heard the conversation because she was tracking his phone. So she was in the parking lot. That's why she popped out so fast. She saw the exchange that happened with the dad.
But you didn't really from that exchange.
You didn't get everything.
You wouldn't know that he's gonna testify against Annalise.
But if if you put
she
two
may
and two
have
together,
heard what happened in the meeting too, because I bet whoever Frank's guy was
can make the
cell,
speaker.
Yeah. Into a microphone.
Even if she only heard the parking lot conversation, that's enough to know like what's going on. You know, whatever. Why did you do this was a good enough line for her to just say like, whatever you're doing, why the hell are you doing it? Because it's obviously against us because you're working with Sinclair. It doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah, I was just seeing them from afar. You
can be like, all right, that's not looking good. Yeah, and it just sucks because I'm like, Asher, dude, like you've never been on the team, like in terms of on accident, but now you're purposely not on the team. Like what's going on?
Plus, he is so not sly. Like he cannot pull off.
I'm sick.
Anything behind the scenes.
But he was
and, like,
so
get it over
sure that he had the story right. Like his confidence, he was like, listen, like you don't need to hide anymore. I know that this is how it went down. I know that you did this. And for him to be so sure about everything.
For not knowing anything.
Like, I don't know. I mean,
where did he get all that information?
Trotter Lake must be really bad if he needed to cover something like that up.
Well, he killed somebody, clearly.
Well, something happened. I hope we find. I mean, we will find out.
It's too boring. They all kill people at this point. Sorry, that's weird.
Everyone's hands are bloody.
I feel like it's got to be he killed somebody.
Do you think it's he raped someone?
Doesn't matter.
I think someone died and he was there. And
someone died in the
the
situation.
Yeah, I think that would be, not that rape isn't bad or killing is, like, not that they should ever be compared. They're both horrible. But I'm saying I just feel like the fact that he's going to testify, because then the Sinclair can be like, well, I know you killed this other girl, so I could pin this Sam's death on you, or there's got to be some thing.
Maybe it
like
had
that.
to do with his dad's career. Like, if you go down, your dad goes down too, because your dad helped cover this up.
No, because then I feel like he would be pissed at his dad, not hugging his dad.
No, because his dad saved him once. Whatever the Trotter Lake situation is, I bet you his
dad
dad
helped him.
Yeah, helped him cover it up. So
Got
Sinclair's like, listen, I'm going to tell everybody what really happened at Trotter Lake, and then your father's reputation is going to be tarnished forever.
I really hate
I wonder how Sinclair found that out.
She's evil.
Who is she?
Evil, I tell you.
Well, she gets what she deserves.
Yes, she has that face, that voice, that pin-up, and that hair. It's all
Yeah, she needs to take that down. She needs to shake it out.
Gray and brown together. I just can't deal, you guys. I cannot deal. Blazers don't fit. I can keep going on. Let's move on.
So moving on, we find out a little bit more about Wes and Levi and them working with Nate to try and figure out what's happening with Rebecca. That's kind of what's happened. They're all in the same boat that they think Rebecca's dead. And now they get this piece of information that Frank had made 3 calls the night that Rebecca disappeared, quote unquote. So we find out about this Sabrina Menzini person.
And then Bruno.
And then Bruno, the brother,
at the
who
cemetery,
apparently works at the cemetery. Do we think it's that cut and dry? That Frank called his friend that worked at a cemetery, and like that seems very odd.
That seems very Frank to me.
It is possible.
But it seems too easy. No, let me call my buddy who works at the cemetery. Help me bury a body.
It's possible because the thing is, I remember the way that the second season started. It was very like, what are we gonna do? So it wouldn't be crazy if he was like, well, let me just call a friend and we can figure out what.
But 2 other people have already died that Frank somewhat had a hand in. Why was Lila's body left in a water tank if he has a friend that could bury her? Why was there?
Well, she was on top of the
on top of the building, but still, it just seems like this is the 3rd death now, and we're just now Sam. We're just now
hearing about Bruno,
cemetery Bruno.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe because they didn't apply to other deaths. I think with this one, like, it was I don't know how serious it was in terms of, the late Lila or whatever, but they had to get rid of Rebecca's body so that all the students had felt like there was nothing, they had nothing to do with it. There was no death. She ran away. So I wouldn't have gone to a cemetery. I'm sure they're crazy enough to go to the woods, though. So, I think the cemetery is cut and dry and necessary for something like this. I just hate that Eggs or whatever the hell his name is. Or what's his name? Levi and Wes, they have the information obviously wrong. It just like... it's kind of
we're back to just gullible Wes.
It's a lot. It's a lot of guessing.
This is my
kind of annoying.
This is my crazy theory for the night. I feel like it's possible that Levi might be Sam's son from his other wife.
What the hell? Why?
You're all about parental connections.
Not parental connection, but he is now. Like, he might be pissed off and because Levi's very much blaming Annalise and angry at Annalise and thinks Annalise is in charge, responsible for all this.
Rebecca said though about her, not.
Yeah, that's what Rebecca.
I'm just saying.
He's way too cute to be Sam's son.
But he's way too not trustworthy to be just Rebecca's brother.
I agree.
I don't know. Rebecca's
agree
pretty
with that.
shady though. I mean,
But why all of a sudden now is he Rebecca's brother who? I mean,
well, that's the thing. So Nate
maybe he
called
was
Wes out, and he was like, why do you trust this guy? We don't really know who he is. So that makes me think like, okay, maybe we don't fully know who this Levi person is.
There's no way in hell.
So I liked that part of it. But as far as the cemetery, I thought that was a smart move because let's be honest, you're Bruno, the groundskeeper. They bury bodies every single night, so we just dump the body in a shallow grave, or dump the body in a grave and then put a casket on top of the body, and you never know where it is. So I feel like that's maybe what they did. If that's where the 3 phone calls came from, who knows? They could be talking about somebody else that Frank was dealing with. I mean, he's very shady and very connected. I really don't know what he's capable of at this point. We've seen him kill. We've seen him connive.
But we know that Frank didn't do it. It was freaking Bonnie. So that's what's irritating. Like, I don't like Wes. I hate when he gets a whole bunch of wrong information because he just takes it all at face value. He's like, yes, you're going to stay away from Mikayla? No, you don't know this man. You know,
but he's a puppy, Stacy.
But even that,
so
by
annoying.
saying that if he was Rebecca's brother, him and Wes would have some type of bond. The fact that he's not listening, like he's on his own.
They did have some type of bond. Wes only figured out this episode that he can't trust him because of
but he's
Mikayla's
only been here for 2 episodes.
I bought the egg
3.
story though. Like I bought that.
I didn't buy that Rebecca's eggs because I feel like we get the text from. Like, how would
she
Mikayla
sent eggs
know?
911? That sounds pretty.
I think she was.
That sounds good.
Wasn't it a different phone?
So
she was using someone else's
Rebecca
phone,
sent eggs 911 from Mikayla's phone to Levi's phone. So he got it, and it says eggs. Hey, it's me. 911. I'm in trouble.
Right. I could buy that.
Yeah. All right.
It's more of just the fact that.
No, I get that. I could buy that. I could buy that. All right, just throwing it out there.
So what do we think about Mikayla and Levi's relationship? Like, how is that going to play into this? Like,
I think that she's going to develop feelings for Caleb. I think Levi was just there for that was it.
Well, yeah, I mean, he was trying to get into. Yeah, he's
and
the
we
real
return
skank.
back to this side.
He's the real skank. Yeah, it definitely seems like he was manipulating his way into the whole Annalise quick to get more information. Obviously connected with Wes.
Do you think Wes is gonna tell Mikayla what's up and tell her to keep using him maybe?
Oh, I like that.
That's what I would really hope. Like, if Wes is smart, it's like, listen, this is who this guy is. Keep doing what you do. Do all that. All the work that out.
But do you think Mikayla would go along with that?
She better. What the heck?
Like, I mean, I would hope so, but I don't think she would.
I think that Mikayla is going along with their plan with Caleb because obviously they're like, okay, are you ready to do this? And she's like, I got this. Don't worry about it. And then she walks up to the apartment and she's like trying to psych herself up. So clearly they've had something is happening between them. We'll find out their relationship. Whatever. Maybe it just goes deeper than what we saw obviously in this episode. But yeah, she's in it with him.
Yeah, she's in it with Caleb.
So it's the whole trust thing.
Yeah.
Right, but why?
Yeah, I feel like Levi's out.
Yeah. So, but the fact that she's kind of not using Caleb, but in it with Caleb to an extent, do we think that Mikayla knows more? Like, do you think that Nate and Wes do let Mikayla in on what they know?
Hell no, they better not. No, it would be it's too much going on. Like,
because I feel like there is somewhat of a divide. I feel like
between everybody in Nate's car.
I feel like maybe Nate, like the way that Nate is tells Mikayla, no, you've got this. Yeah, I feel like there's some.
No, I mean that might be that could be true. I mean,
and Wes knows that too, and you can tell Laurel. And Connor.
I was gonna say Connor is now on that side.
I feel like there's definitely a divide within that car almost. And why does everybody believe in Nate now, who's the gullible one who got set up and framed?
It doesn't make him gullible. I mean, it makes him under the same spell that Annalise puts them under. It doesn't mean I think it's just that, but I don't feel like they have anyone to trust other than Nate at this point in terms of how they're setting up the end. I mean, they have no choice.
Well, if they are mounting a coup d'etat against Annalise, they all sort of got burned by her. Nate obviously very publicly, Wes as well, with if he's still thinking that she killed Rebecca, which is not the whole truth but close. Obviously, Connor is not on Annalise's good side right now because he just got like a huge threat thrown in his face. There's only Mikayla, Laurel, and who else was in the car?
Mikayla, Laurel, Connor, Wes, and Nate.
Okay. So yeah, that is everybody. I feel like
except
maybe
Asher again.
Yeah. Well, Asher is never
Where
involved.
is he?
Maybe Asher was there. Maybe he's the one that
Frank
kills.
and Bonnie weren't there, so.
Maybe. Okay, so I don't know if I should. I'm just going to throw my prediction out now. Oh, well.
Should we just go to predictions?
Okay, let's go to predictions.
Let's do it.
Okay. Yeah. No? Is that okay?
Yeah. We do it.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Okay, I don't really know how much sense this makes, but what if Caleb was the one who stabbed Annalise. So Caleb was the one that did that. That's why he has the blood on him or whatever. He runs back. They say, we got you. We'll save you. We'll figure this out. Crap, she's going to die. What are we going to do? Mikayla has a relationship with Caleb. He goes back scared. What did I do? Is she okay? Oh, no, she's good. We got it. Is that even possible?
Well, but Caleb, we find him not in the house where he's supposedly living.
Right,
so
because they were like, get out, we'll figure it out.
They go somewhere.
May I predict?
Yeah, sure.
I think that, the car peeps, Nate and co, like the children, the students.
The Scooby Gang, they're just like in the car.
Yes, the Mystery Machine / cop car. Did whatever, like stabbed Annalise, did something with her, and maybe because it's Caleb's house, he found her, called the ambulance, and then they took him out of there, and that's why he was wondering if she was okay, and Mikayla was trying to convince him that she was, even though they may have done something else to make sure that she's not.
Do you think it's possible the kids
I think
actually
did too.
would have done this though?
I'm just gonna say. Okay, so I think that this is what happened. They're at the mansion. I don't know why Annalise is there. Sinclair shows up. Sinclair stabs Annalise or shoots her or whatever. Caleb sees it, pushes Sinclair. They're like, "Oh my God, get him out of here!" Whatever. They take him. Somebody takes him out. I don't know how he gets to this locked apartment because the kids are running away from the house after they hear the gunshot.
And he's just transported there.
Yeah, so it's I'm very confused, but I'm hoping that we get some answers. Next week is going to be explosive, obviously. They teased us. They teased us hard this week in the previews.
Yes. I need to figure out.
Steph, what do you think?
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of think that, man, there's so much. I don't know. I am a little bit, not disturbed, but a little bit disturbed on how quickly it seems like Caleb is in a different location.
Yeah. Right. Unless he had nothing to do with it.
But also, where's the sister?
There's no way, yeah. And
I think the sister's dead. That's what I said earlier. I think Catherine's dead too, and that's who he's asking about, not Annalise.
Interesting. All right.
I like that a lot.
And maybe
like that
she
better,
goes psycho
actually.
and kills them.
Oh my God. I like that better.
Maybe that's what happens.
Catherine looks like she could be hiding some serious rage.
Yeah, she seems a little bit psycho.
Just bottling it up, burying it down deep.
Exploding.
I see that, for sure.
That Sinclair comes over and they get into a fight. She pushes her buttons, says you're not a virgin, this, that, and the other thing. Kills Sinclair first. Then Viola tries to stop her, save her, stabs Viola.
Pow. It was
Wasn't
it a gunshot?
She's the skank. Full circle.
Maybe the virgin is the skank. Oh. There it is.
Wow, that's a very
Boom! You heard it here on AfterBuzz.
Yeah.
So funny.
All right. Well, real quick. I know. Well, does anyone have a quote of the night? I like the quote of the night. I think it's really interesting. We have so many great one-liners and stuff in this. If you can remember one, great. We didn't really prep you, Stacey, that this was going to happen. I've got one that I really liked. If no one else has one,
Sure.
Mine was when we figure out Catherine's a virgin, and I forgot who it was actually. They said seriously, she grew up riding horses.
Oh yeah,
It was Mikayla. Yeah.
That was
So again, you guys out there, tell us your quote that you liked of the night. Tell us your thoughts. It's crazy. We don't know what's happening. You might know better. Let us know. Until next week, where can the people find you, Stacy Ike?
You guys can check me out on Twitter and Instagram at OneTakeStace. I want to make sure I give a huge shout out to Basics NYC on Instagram. They gave me this t-shirt to wear.
Ooh.
Lie. And the church says amen. That's all I'm saying. Okay.
Well, you guys can find me at JB_Zimmerman on Twitter and Instagram.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Jillian Leff, on my Facebook page, Jillian Leff Official, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. There you go,
And
Steph.
you guys can find me on all the social media platforms at I am Stef Z with an F. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.